Hi, I'm Jose with Watercraft Superstore, and today I've got Cleo here helping me with a new seat cover installation. We're working with a cruiser style seat, and we're going to show you how easy it is to actually install one of these. And for tools, we highly recommend using a pneumatic or electric staple gun. We also have stainless steel staples, a heat gun, needle nose pliers, a flathead screwdriver. Other tools are specific to staple removing. These three here are actually a few options that are available at local upholstery shops or other hardware stores. Let's go ahead and talk about the seat that we've got here. As you can see, the cover is already removed off of this seat, and we can see that there's some foam damage. The foam actually separated from the housing itself. This isn't a big deal. It is pretty common to see this. Another common feature is that it will have chunks or pieces missing off of the foam top here and here. And if you can see in here, we've got some Velcro pieces. These will come off too. You can just go ahead and glue this and it'll be fine. We'll definitely need those for when we go ahead and install the new seat cover. As far as chunks missing, you might want to get those repaired buying some local foam and kind of placing them over there. If it's just a slit down the middle or something, you can use some duct tape and lay the pieces together. Things like that won't show through the new material, however, the missing chunks will, so we want to consider that before we do the new seat cover install. Okay, so the first step that we're going to take is taking a look at our seat cover. This seat cover is an OEM seat cover still on the cruiser style seat. If you notice, we've got some tears here. And from continuous use, the seat cover itself is actually starting to wear out. Typically, on a new seat cover installation for seats that don't have this setup here, you can usually leave the original seat cover on and just place a new one right over it, making the job a lot easier. However, on this specific model, because of the way the design is, we actually have tabs that go through the foam in order to keep this from coming up. So we'll need to get rid of this seat cover first before we install the new one. If you can see here, we've got a series of staples along the perimeter of the seat cover itself. This is what's actually holding your seat cover in place. Keep in mind that these staples are stainless steel and do not rust, so we want to replace them with the same ones. So see, he's taking one corner of the screwdriver, pulling from underneath the middle of the staple and pulling it up. Now, in the event that the staple doesn't come out completely and it stays stuck in there where it's just lifting up at one end like that, we'll use the needle nose pliers to actually pull it out. Okay, and let's go ahead and show you how to use the other staple remover. The two-pronged setup actually makes it pretty easy to use. Okay, and we'll go ahead and remove the rest of the staples and show you what the cover looks like without all of those staples in place. Okay guys, so we've already removed all of the staples from the seat cover. You can go ahead and see that we can separate the seat cover from the foam and the seat molding itself. As we're removing it, you'll see glue spots here. That is actually holding part of the seat in place as well. As we separate them, we'll notice some Velcro in here. And that helps maintain the seat down on these side panels here. And as we pull up, we notice that the material actually goes into a slot inside of the seat itself. And this is the pull tab that we were talking about that actually holds that whole section in place. And the way to get to that is actually from the back of the seat, lift the foam here on the side, and you'll see that the tab comes through here. We'll go ahead and slip that through the slit. All right, and that is how you remove the seat cover from the foam. This foam here has a small crack. You don't need to be too concerned about that. the new seat cover will actually cover that just fine. So let's go ahead and install the new seat cover. The first thing we're going to need to do before we start stapling the new seat cover in place is match the center line, the center notch that we have in the cover, and line it up with the center of the seat. Once we've determined the center of the seat, we're going to go ahead and use a anchor staple to hold it in place. And do the same thing for the front section of it. Make sure that the front piece is centered, and we're going to go ahead and anchor that spot in place as well. We want to make sure that when we're dealing with the front section, the staples that are being placed in there actually go into the plastic molding and not the foam itself. The next step is to put some anchors on the sides. In this case, it doesn't matter which side you start with at first. What we're doing here is, as we're pulling it, we're actually smoothing out the material that is going to be visible. Get out as much of the wrinkles as possible. And we'll go ahead and hold that in place with the anchor staples. We're going to go ahead and smooth out the vinyl material and get as much of the wrinkles out as possible. And once we've determined that we've got enough of a smooth area and a nice pull, we're going to go ahead and anchor those sections in place. Once you've got everything pretty well in place, we can go ahead and start putting in the staples around the outside. Now we've finished installing the seat cover. I want to go ahead and show you something that Cleo did. Was he was pushing down on the Velcro piece here on the edge of the lumbar system to kind of get rid of the wrinkles that are predominant here on the surface there. There will always be a little bit of wrinkle there, but that certainly helps minimize the amount of wrinkles that actually do stay. So let's go ahead and flip it over, and we'll show you what the underneath section looks like. You can see a series of staples there, but we've got a bunch of excess material that we're going to need to remove, and this is where the utility knife comes into play here. When we're cutting the material, we want to make sure that we don't get too close to the staple. The reason for that is there's a lot of tension on the staple holding the material down, and if it gets too close, the material can actually rip and pull through the staple itself while the staple stays in place. A nice 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch is it's good enough for maintaining that in place. Hey guys, looks like we finished our seat cover. It came out really great. It's all thanks to Cleo here, who helped us with the installation. Let's go ahead and show you what he did underneath that, so we have a point of reference for when you're doing this yourself at home. Notice here how there's a series of staples all the way around the perimeter, and we've also removed any of the excess material that we don't want on there, and it turned out really, really good. If you notice here, we've also gone ahead and redone the decals with the new Black Tip Series decal kit, and also the traction mats. They are the Black Tip Jet Sports Elite traction mats. All of these, the seat cover, the decals, the traction mats, all made by Black Tip Jet Sports, and are all available on our website at watercraftsuperstore.net. For more videos just like this, please visit our Watercraft Superstore YouTube channel. My name is Jose, this is Cleo, and we'll see you next time.